Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. I'm your host, Dave Chacho. With me, as always, is your other host, Robert Chan.
Hi.
And we are back for another week with another very special guest, Ryan Hitchcock. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Ryan's a writer for the UCB Mod team. Also host Where Eagles Dare. It's a local indie sketch show.
And improv.
And improv?
Yeah.
And what's the other one? The Wrangle.
The
A
Wrangle.
salsa class.
Yeah, I also teach a salsa class.
Comedy salsa.
Yes.
Yeah, Los Angeles Valley College.
Is that a thing? Is there one of those? Because I assume that anywhere you go in the United States, you can take the city's name, add valley and college to it, and there will be in existence an institution by that name.
No, it's a real community college there.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying it.
I took a comic book class there as a kid, like writing and drawing comic books. And one time I was horsing around and I spilled someone's soda, and the teacher of the class like openly said, "Oh, this is why I don't work with children." I remember the hero I created for the class was Pinball Man, and his power was that he
really good
was
pinball.
like a pinball. But I guess that also means he couldn't control where he was going. So
Then they made that character in real life. His name was
Really?
Speedball. He was one of the new warriors. That was literally his power, as he just fucking bounced around like a pinball.
I got
Jeez,
ripped
they
off,
ganked
you
you.
guys.
They
I got
ganked
ripped
you,
off.
son.
I thought you were going to say that you spilled your soda when you were in your comic class and you accidentally created like the best comic character ever. Soda splash.
It was radioactive ink, and you got like it's the powers of a.
Powers of effervescence. Effervescence. Oh, that would have been so
He
much
just
better if
creates
I would have got
bubbles?
that word. Take this
Pinball
bad,
boy.
take this
Fucking
bad
look
guy.
Let's team up.
Bloop.
like the villain's drinking water, and then he, and then he goes like, my nose.
Oh, I got it all over my nice shirt. Damn it.
Oh, he's so sticky. Oh, this is the most uncomfortable bank robbery ever.
Has there ever been a aluminum wrap superhero? Because then he would.
You mean he raps?
No. Aluminum wrap, like Reynolds wrap. And then when he beat the bad guy would go, foiled again. I thought of that as we were talking about the bubbles, and I thought, holy shit, this is genius. I have to get this out now so that I can have it on tape. Then copyright
The
is
Science Jerks, 2013.
So don't take that shit.
Don't be pitching that shit. Don't let us hear that you pitched that to Adult Swim, listeners. We will come after you with effervescence.
With our
Wrap you
powers
with
of
tinfoil.
bubbles.
Yeah, any of you Science Jerks listeners out there, if you ever get a meeting with Adult Swim, do not bring up Reynolds wrap.
Just
Maybe
just
you
aluminum.
could shoot that commercial on spec.
Oh,
and then
man.
Reynolds wrapped.
Oh, damn. We could just do an entire series of them.
We also copywritten commercials about Reynolds wrap. So listen, Reynolds, do
We're on
not
to you.
be letting us see any commercials about Reynolds wrap
We're gonna sue
without
the
our
fuck out of
permission.
That is a fact.
Hydrospherical potentiology.
Giant concrete balls could save the world. Chacho here with Chan and our guest Ryan Hitchcock.
The whole world?
At least the part of it we care about, which is about 5
Central
miles
Los
in
Angeles
diameter
and
around Hollywood.
Are you going to go back and put some echo on giant concrete balls? Because I think your delivery demands it.
That's a good idea.
I will make a
I'm
note
just
of
going
that.
to get,
and
yeah, I'm just
forget
going to
it.
give you guys notes on the podcast.
Yeah, any editing tips?
Yeah,
So,
just- yeah.
Tell me about your production schedule. I'll tighten it up.
Should this part have reverb on it, do you think? Like we're
The whole
in
thing,
a cave?
You can never get enough reverb.
Maybe this whole segment should be inside a giant concrete ball. Because these concrete balls I'm talking about are hollow.
Hey.
They are theoretically going to be like 20 meters in diameter, I
They're like
believe.
teeny tiny Dyson spheres. Are we going to live inside them? And to protect us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays as our ozone is depleted and our sea levels rise?
You can go live in one if you want, I assume, but you would have to
Sweet.
get some scuba gear. What they're proposing them for are batteries. hollow balls about 20 meters in diameter
concrete batteries
under the ocean in like about a half-mile deep of water, and this is what they do.
Power my Walkman.
Yeah, you have to carry them behind you like on a rope as you're jogging.
This sounds like that fountain at Universal City Walk. That's like that ball with water running over it, and it's kind of...
And it's moving around.
It's like there's so much water
water
pressure underneath it that's kind of just floating on top, and you can move it.
Oh.
Is that like the same general principle?
No, but that sounds
yes.
cool.
I'm going to say yes. I haven't read the story, but I'm just going to say yes. That is correct.
So the problem with different alternative energy sources that we're looking at, like wind and tidal power and solar, the main problem is they're only available when there's wind or when there's sunlight or when there's tides. So we need a method of storing the power when they are working so that you can get the power back out when they're not working. That's what a battery is. And like chemical batteries like you use in your car or your phone, not super efficient, and they would have to be humongous to store enough power to, to make a wind turbine useful, basically.
And they'd also be full of chemicals, which kind of defeats the purpose of clean energy.
You have a phone right now, yes?
Yeah.
It's full of chemicals.
It is.
It's right next to your balls, right? Right now, as we speak? It's in your pocket?
Hold on. Now it is.
It's full of chemicals and surrounded by radiation. But that's not what we're worried about.
We're not worried about radiation and chemicals near our balls?
Not in this segment.
Because as far as I'm concerned, that's a number one priority. Before we figure out cancer, before we figure out how to defeat climate change...
Chacho told me not to care, so I'm not going to care.
That's how it works.
Don't trust anybody.
I'll tell you what to care
about
and
your
when.
balls.
He said, "Don't worry about it."
My entire goal in life is to get cancer slightly slower than they can cure it, and I think that we're almost on the precipice of being there.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job with AIDS right now because you've almost had AIDS for a real long time, and they're about to cure it.
And we're going to talk about that in a later segment on
are we?
Pot curing AIDS.
Oh.
So I was going to save this for later, but I don't have to worry about getting AIDS is my entire thesis of that segment. But back to balls.
Yes.
So it's a kind of ingenious, actually. It's basically what they do is these hollow balls underwater, they let them fill up with water, and then when the turbines are working, when there's an abundance of power, they pump the water out. So there's a
so it's
a vacuum.
It's like a mechanical process.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mechanical battery, basically.
It's like rolling a ball uphill. All the energy you're using is now
stored as potential energy. This is the same thing with the pressure under the ocean is potential energy. You create a vacuum inside it when you have an abundance of power. Then when the power goes out, when the wind dies, the sun goes out or whatever, when the sun dies out, it explodes.
I think we're going to have bigger problems.
The sun explodes.
When the sun goes out, then
we're going to have enough power
I'll
to turn
deal
on.
with that once I'm sure that my balls are okay.
So, and then there's a little turbine, not a hat.
Teeny tiny.
That the water will start rushing back in and it'll turn to turbine.
Like a little water wheel.
Yeah. And that's where you get your power back out. So when the wind dies down, when the wind is blowing, you suck the water out. When the wind dies down, the water slowly comes back in and turns to turbines, so you always have power, theoretically. And they're thinking that like 10 of these could store, I think, an hour of a nuclear power plant's output.
That's pretty good.
Which is a lot. I don't know what that is.
Wait. So I'm understanding it. It's the source of the power is the turbine or the solar panel, and that's wired to the batteries, and then the batteries...
No, it's not a battery. Basically what happens is...
Oh, my God.
It's not a battery in the sense of a phone battery.
It's just a ball full of water. And when the turbine starts spinning on the wind power, it pumps the water out because we've got power. And then once the wind dies down, it's making power while it's spinning, and also it's pumping the water up. When the turbine stops spinning because the wind has stopped, but we still need to turn on the lights, then all that water drains down over a wheel that starts spinning and generating electricity.
There's no traditional battery involved at all. It's all mechanical. I'm using battery in the sense of storage of energy. It's a mechanical way of storing energy instead of using a battery.
And that I like that. I like low tech, high tech solutions to things.
And it's like a passive system. There's not a lot of moving parts. There's not a lot of things to go wrong.
And I mean, it's the fucking ball of concrete, so it's not as expensive as, like lithium batteries, that you're trying to power up and all the time.
Did they get this idea from the Disney animated film Atlantis? Nobody remembers that.
When was that?
To remember it, I would have had to have seen it in the first place.
It's from like the early 2000s.
I sort of remember that it existed.
Or like late 90s. Kind of like when Disney animation was like in its I don't know, period.
It's meh period.
It was starting to pick up because like Beauty and the Beast had already come out, but they're still putting out some kind of garbage films.
Yeah. It was like a weird like steampunk aesthetic sort of thing. Like it was like...
Was it mermaids underwater kind of thing?
It's Atlantis. They're people on... When it was above water, right?
They were people, like, they went under the ocean. I forget exactly what it was, but, like, for some reason Atlantis there was air, and they could breathe it. I don't remember what the justification for that was.
Give us a play-by-play. How did the first act start out? Who was the hero?
I remember Michael J. Fox played the hero.
Oh, yeah?
And he was like a...
No, this does not ring any bells whatsoever.
IMDb it. No, not now. I'm just saying, would you not believe Hitchcock?
Yes, I'm saying he came on our show to lie about a Disney movie.
Yeah, I'm making up Disney movies.
This is a long-planned prank.
This is the long con. I've known you for years, and now it's finally coming to fruition. I knew that you would have a science
As soon as I get home and I try to find it on Netflix, he's going to, jump out of my closet and go, gotcha!
Neurochemical eschatology.
Brain, I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. Brain.
We're cutting this part, right?
No.
Never, don't.
Oh, God. I love singing 80s songs retooled with science lyrics. We're monkeying around with mouse brains, again, as you do, because there's a lot of them, and they're pretty easy to manipulate.
I was just picturing monkeys tinkering around in
it's
little bitty mouse brains.
It's the Shakespeare typewriter theory, right? But with mouse brains.
500 monkeys with scalpels.
Working on 500 mouses.
Infinite supply of mouse brains will eventually create human intelligence.
When I become famous and I have crazy fuck you money, absolutely, I'm going to have a lab full of chimpanzees with doctor coats, fucking the works. They're going to have pocket protectors and lasers.
I guarantee you Prince is already doing that.
Yes, I know that.
You want to do it too.
Lasers and lab equipment, then you're going to come back in like a year and go, and now I will see what they've created, and it'll just be like a splatter of dead monkeys all over the walls.
There's like one monkey who's been subsisting on mice.
But he is going to be the healthiest goddamn monkey in the world.
And also he has written Hamlet.
Yes.
Just as
somehow
just throwing it off.
It's scrawled on the wall in mouse brains.
Yeah, but try and get that motherfucker to do MLA citations. You cannot teach a monkey footnotes. The hypothalamus has been identified as a significant portion of the process of aging, in that it produces the
hypothalamus is the part of the brain that regulates breathing, right? That kind of stuff, like unconscious.
Not breathing. Breathing is a little further down.
The basic functions.
The hypothalamus is a little bit higher up in the brain, and it does a lot of the automatic responses, a lot of hormone levels, waking, sleeping, that sort of thing. It does a lot of the autonomic stuff, but not the heart pumpy, breathe in, breathe out kind of stuff. One of the things that it does is that it produces nuclear factor KB, NFKB.
I have to admit, that was my favorite band when I was 12.
The nuclear factors on the block. They were pretty great. Okay, what they found is that this NFKB plays a major role in regulating immune responses, and they found that when they introduced chemicals that blocked it, blocked the production of it, they lived longer. And they found that if they had more of the NFKB that's produced by the hypothalamus, they died sooner. The average mouse lives between about 1,000 days. And when they let the NFKB activate, they died in about 900 days. And when they blocked it, they lived to about 1,100 days. Then the mice that lived longer stayed younger longer, and their muscles were...
And they were like physically and mentally healthier,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. Also, their reproductive systems, so they could bear children later in life and stuff like that.
And they found, conversely, when they studied humans who had babies later, they were still fertile later. They had... Actually, what it was...
Not conversely.
Yeah, also.
The same thing was true in
If they were bearing
humans.
children later, they also stayed alive longer. And that's because they had these elevated levels of... Well, actually,
Well,
what happens
they have
is...
Not elevated.
lower levels of
Conversely...
Not.
of new kids.
What is happening?
So there's this
Well,
other
the problem
thing.
is that the NFKB inhibits another thing, the GnRH.
Yeah.
And those being lower is what they think causes the to live longer. You have to have less of these, and you get less of those by having more of the other hormone.
Right. The
which is produced by
NFKB you want lower, and then the G, what is it? The gonadotropin, which is it comes from gonads, so it has to do with reproduction. The higher that is, then the longer you live, and the more fertile you are.
Listen, this isn't the math jerks, all right? This is science.
That wasn't math. That was just English.
Check out our spin-off podcast where we
Did-
just talk about numbers.
There's a whole bunch of different things we're discovering. There are all sorts of different things that affect aging, and like you're not going to be able to pop a pill to suppress this hormone and suddenly live longer, but we may find that if you do
Are you
that,
sure?
well, if you do that, then something else is going to break because there's a reason why that hormone is doing stuff, and if you do that, probably your legs will fall off or something, and you'll be
not
able to live to 200,
necessarily.
but you'll have no
Sounds
legs.
plausible.
I mean, this one researcher says you're playing with fire with the hypothalamus because it does so many things you don't know what the side effects could be.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've talked about a lot of anti-aging stories. It seems like we're getting to the point where there might be a pill in the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
that
I mean, they're
could
going to try
extend your life for.
We'll suppress this one
Alternate?
here, and we'll make more of this here, and we'll just keep, throwing pills at it until we get that right balance.
Alternate suggestion? Mm-hmm. Just deal with it. You're getting older. Deal with it.
Listen, old man, we're never going to die. We're doing this
We're
show
invincible, man.
so that people know about science and work hard at science and give money to science so that science will let us live forever.
I'm doing it so they give money to me so I can live forever.
I want everybody to live forever.
I really just want me to live forever and everybody else to be gone.
That's going to suck real quickly.
Yeah, I feel like
If I was the last person, I'd keep making this podcast, and then I would like it every week on Facebook, and I'd be like, everybody in the world loves my podcast.
That seems like
that's a poor use of your
And then I would go to
last man on earth.
youporn.com, and I'd go, man, this quality's really falling off.
Nobody's
Since everybody
uploaded
dies.
anything in years.
just pictures of me jerking off.
Just me masturbating. Guess I'll make another video.
Psychopharma Epidemiology.
Weed kills HIV. Chacho here with Chan and our guest Ryan Hitchcock.
Hello.
Okay, first off, given what we know about you, I'm just going to call bullshit on this story.
What, you think I'm full of AIDS?
No.
It's written in crayon on a napkin.
I think you keep coming up with stories like, hey, guys, did you hear? Weed will make you a better driver. No, seriously.
I swear, it cures everything.
Hey, guys,
I'm never going to die.
weed makes you not racist. Actually, that one kind of does. Like, well, God, I could go out and lynch somebody right now, but again, there's a Scrubs marathon on. I've got 3 bags of Cheetos that I've got to get through before the weekend.
Also, racists definitely watch Scrubs.
I feel like racists who are high,
Racists who are
High
yeah.
race.
super stoned, would be like, "Oh man, check that out! That black guy and the white guy are best friends."
Like they think that's the central joke.
Well, it's like, I mean, why do you go to watch The Hobbit? You want to see a motherfucking dragon. You want to see some shit that does not exist.
Do you think there's anybody that's just racist against hobbits?
Orcs.
They're wasting their time.
If Congress doesn't do something about the hobbits immigrating to this country,
Fucking building houses underneath hills.
slaying our dragons,
Throwing rings in volcanoes.
I could have
How much
used that
government
ring.
money is going towards that?
Man, a hard-working Sauron made that ring, and he's just gonna throw it away like it were nothing. So tell
So
me.
anyway,
Howard.
speaking of getting high, well, there's a compound in cannabis called THC, and that's what gets you high.
Tetrahydrocannabinol delta 9? I've heard of it.
It is that very cannabinol. So there's some white blood cells that are called macrophages. There's different kinds of white blood cells, but these ones in particular are susceptible to HIV because HIV will bond, the virus itself will bond to the white blood cell in a cannabinoid receptor. And guess what else bonds to the white blood cell in a cannabinoid receptor? Guess.
THC?
Yes.
What?
Cannabis. So it looks like a certain type of cannabis. There's cannabinoid type 2 will bond
Is
to
that known as purple kush?
yeah, it's I think it's train wreck with a little bit of indica in the strain.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm familiar with that medicine.
Unfortunately, it says here all the way. I got all the way to the end of the article before it said the cannabinoid type 1 is the one that gets you high. Cannabinoid type 2 doesn't really affect your brain very much.
That's the kind of hemp they use to make cloth.
Yeah, so they're like, well, we could probably manufacture a chemical that was just the part 2, so it wouldn't get you high.
No.
What are you doing?
That's not the point.
This is the wrong science.
Science bad now. No, yeah.
But this cannabinoid, which is in pot that you smoke, also, it gets in there and it blocks up the receptor where the HIV would bond, which it doesn't kill the virus, but it keeps it from spreading so quickly. Because one of the things HIV will do is before you even know it's there, it'll hitch a ride on white blood cells, which travel all around your body, and it'll just start multiplying and throwing versions of itself all over the place.
Like a Johnny
Until you've
AIDS
got
seed.
so many AIDS, there's nothing you can do about it. So, yeah, get high. That's my thesis.
Well, no. The thesis that you presented was get high, stop AIDS. The article itself said
Stop wearing
doesn't
condoms. Just smoke a joint.
Smoke a joint before unprotected sex.
Go have sex with homeless people, unprotected. As long as you're high.
Wait. Why would you want to have sex with homeless people? How did that become a part of the equation?
Because they want to have sex with you.
I think we've pinned down why.
Why would people
so
with
uncomfortable around?
Why would
homeless
people with homes want to have sex with you? They already have a home.
Someone had sex with you. You don't have to give them a home.
I believe
thought that
may
was part
actually
of
be
the
a rule.
contract.
That's not how I was raised.
Help yourself to anything in the fridge. That'll get you 2 days on the couch.
I'd like to see the remake of Reefer Madness that references this.
Reefer will drive you crazy, but it'll also cure AIDS. So 6 of these, half dozen of the other.
Oh, man, I'm freaking out. I feel so AIDS-free, man. And then he jumps through a window and dies.
So it gives and it takes.
Doesn't that happen in that that ABC after school special? From,
the
early 80s. Like,
it's acid.
Helen
There was-
Hunt? Oh, it's acid.
Yeah, there's that famous scene. Was it Conan that showed it a lot? Or somebody on TV used to show it all the time. The one scene where somebody would just take one hit of some drug and then immediately go crazy and run through a window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
good
what my
times.
evenings are like.
Jumping through windows.
I have to replace so many windows.
You run up quite a glass bill. Might want to consider moving to the first floor.
Can't live on the first floor. That's where all the homeless people are.
And there's
Of
no
a home?
window. Okay, hold on. There's no windows. A lot of homeless people. I think I'm starting to see where this is happening.
I live under a bridge.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. we are here with our special guest, Ryan Hitchcock, and quiz maskeress Jessica Lee. How you doing, Jay Lee?
Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Did you learn anything on your long time away? Did you find yourself? Did you gain spiritual enlightenment?
Yeah, I said Hare Krishna about 1,000 times this weekend.
God
no
damn
joke.
it. Did you shave your head?
Only like the left side of it. That's the look.
Okay, I got you.
Skrilla.
Don't take it personally if you come to the door and we hide and turn out the lights.
That's fine. I'll just have some like big like drum and like a couple like tambourines and my Hare Krishna crew. It'll be cool.
I'm into it. What do you got for us, Jay Lee?
Let's hear
All right.
question 1.
Question 1. What was the active medium used in the first working laser ever constructed? A diamond block. B, helium neon gas. C, a ruby rod. D, carbon dioxide gas.
Hold on. One of those was a character from The Fifth Element. The other 3, I have no idea.
It has to be the diamond, right? Pink Floyd fired the first laser.
Are you talking? Do you believe that the first laser was from the cover art
The Dark
of
Side of the Moon album cover.
The timeline probably works out. I'm probably pretty close.
I was thinking it was the second one, like the helium.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Was it helium neon?
Because I was thinking.
I feel
That's
like
what-
it was, yeah, through
We're,
a gas.
I was thinking
that's what
it's a
we're
noble
leaning
gas,
toward. Let's go with B. Helium.
You guys are wrong,
No.
unfortunately. It is C, a ruby rod.
Are you kidding me?
A ruby rod.
I didn't even realize that Chris Tucker was alive then. That doesn't make any sense.
A ruby rod?
A ruby rod.
Okay.
Who knew? Fucking science, man.
Question 2. A primary fuel is one that is used in the same form as it occurs in nature. Which of the following is not a primary fuel? A, kerosene. B, wood. C, coal. D, natural gas.
Kerosene.
Kerosene.
I'm going to go with kerosene on this
Yeah.
one.
Because you burn
Definitely
coal,
you burn wood,
and
coal,
you
and-
burn natural gas. This is straight up methane.
Yep. And kerosene, I think, needs a little,
Goosing.
yeah, needs a little
Is that what you
cajoling.
were looking for? Little prodding.
There's a little pinch on the
Little,
tush there.
Come on. Come on.
Grabby,
Taylor.
grabby.
Oh, you can do it. You can
Little light
light my
molestation,
house.
right? You know?
You guys are on 2 different tracks.
We're going kerosene.
It is correct. Kerosene A is the right answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our first ever right
1
answer.
for 2.
First ever?
We've been doing this for 6 months, and we finally got one.
Question 3. Most meteorites are found in Antarctica and where else? A, Brazil. B, New Zealand. C, North Africa. D, Hawaii.
Well, the biggest one of those is probably North Africa.
Yeah, it's way
The
bigger
entire
than
north of Africa. I feel
way
like
bigger than New
statistically-
Zealand. But I think it is North Africa. I remember reading recently that there's a lot of meteor hunters around that area.
Oh wait, the first one was in Antarctica, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's also pretty big
Also
landing zone.
pretty big.
And pretty flat,
Also-
and
A lot of ice.
we kind of suck to look for meteorites there.
I guess maybe desert areas are they?
I would think
better?
so, because you're talking New Zealand, and you got to go through forests and like mountains
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Just let's go to the flat place and hope there's some shit on the ground.
Here's what I say: it might be Antarctica, but
No, that wasn't one of the answers.
what?
It
No,
was
no.
that was
It's Antarctica.
that was
and
given.
one of the
The
options.
best 2 places are Antarctica and one other place.
I wasn't listening. Oh right,
Then we're
it was
agreed.
Brazil,
Yeah.
Brazil, New Zealand.
They have
right,
a lot of
right,
coffee
The
in Brazil.
entire north.
Super
of
hard
the
to find
continent of
anything in
Africa.
Brazil. Like
or
that's
Hawaii.
the Amazon basin jungle. That's like the worst place to find anything ever.
Yeah.
Except malaria. Am I right?
I feel like
Two things that Brazil has: 1, a lot of coffee; B, big butts. I don't think meteorites
Not
factor
meteorites.
in.
Not on that
factor
list.
in real fact. No.
North Africa. We're going with North Africa.
Yes, you got it correct, and you almost talked yourselves out of it, so good job.
Absolutely not. We just wanted to talk about butts for a while.
Number 4.
Question 4.
Which of the following gases is green in color? A, chlorine. B, hydrogen. C, krypton. D, neon.
Chlorine? Here's why. Here's my reasoning. Hear me
Maybe.
out.
Maybe.
Green dragons in Dungeons and Dragons breathe chlorine. That is
a solid hypothesis.
That sounds like
It's kind of green.
someone, the science consultant.
Does chlorine?
Dungeons and
I
Dragons.
get most of my science knowledge from the Monster Manual.
I feel like it kind of makes swimming pools greener.
Turns your hair green.
Turns your hair green.
Does that?
Well, it seems like as good a guess as any.
Reasonable. Because the others are pretty much colorless, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neon, doesn't neon have a color, or is that?
I don't think neon.
When
I
you
think,
when you zap it, it
Yeah.
turns a color, but that's not its natural color.
well, all gases kind of do that,
do they?
right?
I don't know.
I feel like hydrogen burns pretty white. We're gonna go with chlorine.
Good thing you trusted Dungeons and Dragons. because
Hells
you're right.
yeah.
Chlorine it is.
That always works every
Yay.
time, any situation in life.
Except on a date.
Just go to the play. God damn
All
you!
the time.
God damn you, Chacho!
For being so right.
Third ever
Well,
right
I was-
answer, guys.
Now, all those times you stayed home and played D&D and didn't have sex paid
Yeah.
off just now.
Paid off just now.
Handsomely.
For the first and only
On a
time.
quiz on a podcast that I created.
Number
Number
5.
5. Where are the youngest stars of the galaxy located? A, central bulge. B, black holes. C, halo. D, spiral arms.
I didn't hear what the third one was.
I didn't either.
Sorry, with halo.
And I believe it has to be the bulge.
These all sound like progressive rock albums to me.
Oh man,
What
did you
is
get that
with you
new
and frickin'
central
psychedelic
bulge?
prog rock? For God's sakes, man, get your head out of the yes.
I knew I was coming on a science podcast, so what better way to get in the mood?
Just toke up, listen to some Hawkwind.
Took some acid and listened to Floyd for 6 straight days.
Yeah. Targus.
I think it's got to be the bulge.
Yeah, because that's they're stellar nurseries that are just basically large hunks of gas where all these stars form and then they kind of fling out from there.
Yeah, the nursery.
I have no idea, so I will defer to the hosts.
Yeah,
You can always
let's
choose
go with bulge.
You guys picked the wrong side of the body because it's spiral arms.
Oh, son of a
Really?
beast!
The stars are formed in the arms?
The youngest stars in the galaxy are in the spiral arms.
Youngest.
That's really
Huh.
surprising. I thought
Okay.
they started in the middle and then were flung out in the arms.
Oh, all right then.
All
We'll
right.
learn something.
The youngest stars in the galaxy are formed in the spiral arms.
Okay, so we got 3 out of 5, which is not bad, all things considered. Better than we've been doing lately. Jaylee, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Jamie Rules.
Jaylee Rules?
Or,
Where else?
Look me up on LinkedIn.
Oh, damn it. Oh, it's been so long I'd
I-
forgotten about the LinkedIn. We should have just stopped at
I
Twitter.
knew it was
Why would
coming,
you-
and you know, strangely, I missed the LinkedIn plug.
Fair enough.
I'm always open to new opportunities. If you want to connect, I'm willing to accept your request on LinkedIn. Find me on /LeeJC.
Here's the thing. She's going to get some sweet-ass, like, $200,000 a year job, and we're still going to be here doing this. So, I guess that works out. Thank you very much, Quiz Mascaras, Jessica Lee. We will see you in 2 days.
And I want 10% of that job.
Gut watch.
Gut Watch. We're talking bacteria again because they fascinate me. And we're talking even about the sort of bacteria that you would normally find around your poop hole. E. coli.
That stuff is everywhere.
Well, it is, and that's the part of the reason why it's very common, and it's pretty easy to manipulate, so it gets used in a lot of experiments.
They're really naive, totally easy to manipulate.
Yes, they are.
They'll believe anything, man.
They'll follow any scientist down a dark alley.
Hey, make us some biofuel. Oh, okay.
The emotional abuse we heap on these
All
poor
right,
things.
mister. Sure thing, mister.
So biofuels, as they are now, kind of like alternative energy sources, are not the greatest because the hydrocarbons that they make don't quite fit into engines. So you can use them, but they'll break it down an engine faster than just like ordinary petrol.
And they burn kind of dirty, right? I've read that a lot of the corn-based biofuels, or like the oil-based, the cooking oil sort of biofuels that people use in their biodiesel, are actually pollute more than gasoline.
I'm not sure if they pollute more, but I think they not
put out
carbon
more.
neutral. I think by the time you've harvested them and put all the energy into like growing the corn and then shipping it and then converting it into biofuel, I think it ends up still shooting out.
It's probably still better than gasoline in the big picture, but it's not. They're not that great, basically.
So what they've managed to do now is fuck around with some E. coli, splice it with a little camphor tree, a little soil bacteria, a little blue-green algae.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And when they feed it glucose, it spits out hydrocarbons that are identical to those found in commercial fuel. So they've only done teeny tiny so far, but eventually they're hoping to ramp it up. Also, not feed it glucose, not feed it sugar, because then you'll have to, make sugar to feed to the bugs to create gasoline. They want to get it to feed off of straw, animal manure, things that are already things we want to get rid of.
Maybe we could feed it gasoline.
Ooh, if we could, feed it gasoline so that it can convert it into gasoline.
Poop out gasoline.
I don't understand what you're... Do you not
all
understand
that
how these
spare
things...
gasoline
Circle of life,
just
man.
got sitting around inside the earth.
It's a win-win.
So if we dig down and get the crude oil and feed it to these bacteria...
Yeah, we got to get rid of
gasoline.
that.
Okay,
Get some crude
okay, no,
oil.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I like that. I'm on board with that. Maybe a little light fracking, just, shits and giggles.
Light fracking, heavy fracking. Frack the shit out of that.
this, man.
I like to start with my fracking kind of gentle.
Yeah, then you speed
then
it up
really-
as you go along.
Yeah. Fracking is like sex, guys.
Oh,
That's where-
Oh, that's
I didn't even make that
disgusting.
connection until
Oh.
you
Just
For
said
anyone
that.
who's
Really?
having trouble following along.
Really? You had to bring it? Oh. I am ashamed to have brought you on this podcast, Ryan Hitchcock.
You always got to bring it into the gutter. Just talking about getting natural gas out of shale, and you
Yeah.
have to make it sexual.
So, what can we do to speed this along? Like, what is the equivalent of all this stuff that we could just put in our gas tanks?
Yeah. The problem with all the stories that we talk about is they always seem to be 5 to 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but I'm always
let's-
excited about
Let's hash this out. We just need some E. coli,
Yep.
some algae.
So just
Which
run-
we all
we'll
have
just-
in
the
our
other thing?
in our butts.
No, we just run
basically.
out of the Jack in the Box, get some Jumbo Jacks, boom, E. coli. We just ram some blue-green algae, some camphor, just camphor, and then some soil bacteria. So just
That's
grind it in
camphor.
the dust for
They
a
have it
while.
at the health food
dirt?
store.
Yeah,
right?
just dirt.
Just dirt, and then glucose.
Yeah. Just pour
Throw
some
that.
maple syrup over that.
Mix it in a
gas.
bowl and then
Shove that
shove it
into
into
your gas tank with a broom.
I mean, you might want to put it through the food processor first, just to kind of
Right,
yeah.
break it down.
In
a good
fact,
idea.
surprise your parents. Make it when they're not looking and throw it into their gas
Just
tank.
pour a bunch of glucose into their tank. What could go wrong?
They'll be so happy.
They
Be sure
may kick you out of that.
You're going to have some poop in there too just to get the E. coli levels right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't think we know how to do science.
This is, we've got it.
We're going to get sued.
That's our show.
And that's our show. Thank you very much to our guest, Ryan Hitchcock.
Thank you for having me.
Where can they find you online if they're looking for you?
Online, my Twitter handle is at R. James Hitchcock.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Just my name,
Sure.
pretty much.
Do people call you James?
No.
Does your mom call you James? Somebody in your family has to call you James.
No.
Is that your middle name? Is that
It is my
even
middle
in
name.
your name?
It is my middle name. Hence the R in front of James.
See how that
I
works.
just thought I don't know. When I set up my Twitter handle, I was like, I'm going to be fancy with it.
Is there a Ryan Hitchcock on IMDb now? Are you on IMDb?
I am on IMDb. There is at least one role that is not me that I believe is like a 14-year-old Scottish kid.
So, like, if you had to, like, when you registered with SAG, you could be R. James Hitchcock.
I very well could.
Yeah. It might happen.
Or you could just take out that Scottish
I would probably,
kid.
if I had to, kill him.
I don't think you can get the name after that.
If
That's
you're
not...
listening to this in Scotland, give us a call. We have a project for you.
Okay.
This podcast goes out on the deep web, right?
Yeah,
Shadow internet.
That's the...
We put out a lot of hits. Most of what we're talking about is code for crimes that we're planning.
Yeah, I don't think that you realize that you're now accessory to murder. But yeah.
Oh, and so many other things.
The Science Jerk podcast brought to you by Silk Road. Buy drugs or someone's art.
Human trafficking, you are a delight. So you do a show the first and third Thursdays of every month.
Yes. Where Eagles Dare. I co-host it along with Joey Clift. It's at the Clubhouse in Hollywood at 1107 North El Centro Avenue.
Nice. And the Wrangle, also same place.
Same place. Sundays at 11. That one is an improv cage match. If you have an improv team and you want to submit, the email is thewrangle, WRANGLE, @gmail.com.
Love it.
Cool. And when's your next UCB show with Tut?
Tut, the mod team that I write for, our next show is Wednesday, May 15th. Reservations for that will probably be up like the Thursday before. Will this be up by then?
I don't know when this episode will be.
We're the third Wednesday of every month.
Might be up by
Okay.
then. Third Wednesdays.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. You can find us at thesciencejerks.com or sciencejerks.com. We're at The Science Jerks on Twitter. We're on Facebook.
We're on Instagram.
Are we?
No.
We should be. We can
Are
take
we on
pictures
Vine?
of
We should Vine this shit.
just 6 seconds. The whole show, 6 seconds at a time.
Yeah, constant vines through the entire show. If you can self-assemble it.
You would need someone like dedicated off to the side doing that. If you want to intern with the Science Jerks podcast,
If you want to just
be the Vine intern.
just do a live vining,
A Vine turn.
give us a call.
Hey, snappy.
And go to our website if you want to buy something on Amazon or Audible. Go through and click through our website, and we'll get some pennies from that. We always like to have some pennies. Mm-hmm. And we'll be back with Ryan Hitchcock in this second episode, the Hitchcock sequel. In a few days.
Yeah. Now this goes out Wednesday, and that show go out Friday because we got a schedule now, a legitimate schedule because we're part of Podpocalypse. And there's a whole
theoretical
all of these
schedule.
things are going to be happening on time for surezies.
Yeah, this is assuming that you do your share of the editing. It's a big assumption.
It's going to happen if I have to drag a homeless man off the street and teach him audition. I'm going to make it happen.
Don't bring him near Dave, though.
I'm gonna get high and fuck him.
No. Yeah.
Where are them clothes for?
So whose birthday is it?
You dress
My
like
grandfather
girls.
is not senile.
That was a perfect impression of your grandfather, and you know it.